What is going on, guys? I'm Nick, and today we have a battle on our hands. Or more like a war, actually, because this has been on my mind for a really good while. If you guys have been following me and you know my channel, I'm a big fan of the Synthesis from Caudabe, but I recently picked up the Sheath as well, and I like it a lot more than I'm willing to admit. So I wanted to compare them and tell you guys the differences and just show you which one I'm going to be using, which one I think is better. But let's get right into it. So the Synthesis over here on the left, I want to take a look at this packaging. Almost identical packaging. So they both have 6.6 feet of drop protection. They're both MagSafe compatible, and this one has a protective screen lip, which they both have a protective screen lip. Not really sure why they chose that as a sort of pinpoint for this case. Also, rugged protection, sleek design, and this one's in black. They're both going to be in black, but they do both come in a variety of colors. They have a few different colors. Looking at the Sheath, 6.6 feet, MagSafe compatible, textured grip. Again, both of them have a really nice grip to them. I guess they just chose to point those out for this case. Superb drop protection, ultra slim design. So let's just tear right into them. I do have dedicated videos for both of these cases up right now, so I'm not going to be covering absolutely everything in this video. It's just going to be like a comparison that I wanted to do for y'all. But if you guys want full details for either one of these cases, then that video, both of those videos will be linked in the description. I'll be sure not to leave you guys wandering. Okay, so now we've got them both out of their packaging, which was pretty much identical past the front. Here they are. So definitely a battle of the greats on our hands. And the Synthesis, which is in my left hand, is going to run you 40 bucks, and the Sheath is going to be a little cheaper at 35. So not a huge difference in price, but 5 bucks pretty much, yeah, you're paying for what you get, at least I would say so. So starting real quick with the Synthesis, it's a very solid, hard material. Not sure if you'll be able to tell, but it is very rigid, not a lot of give at all to it. And if I bring the Sheath over here, it's a lot softer, which I personally love to see. I prefer the softer cases, especially ones like this that still don't have a lot of give. But I'm jumping the gun over here. Let's take a look inside. Pretty much identical, it's just different color over here, but it's all Caudabe information, just some slight branding, Caudabe branding at the bottom. Let's take a look at the sides real quick. Alright, same size power buttons, both of them have air slits in them. Alright, we've got a slight difference in the cutouts over here. The Synthesis is more rectangular, which again, if you guys know me, I prefer the rectangle cutouts. But the Sheath is also rectangular, it's just a little more rounded. It also seems to be a little bit smaller, but again, volume buttons both have air slits. Take a look at the bottom, and pretty big difference down here. So the texture runs all along the bottom for the Synthesis, while the Sheath, the texture doesn't cover where the speakers and the lightning port cutout is. Also, the cutout on the Synthesis, for the lightning port anyway, is a lot bigger. I'm sure you guys can notice that, but there's a lot of excess space around for third-party chargers and things like that. As for the top, both of them exactly the same. Both of them are textured. Okay. Another thing is the texture doesn't run on the front face of the Sheath, and it does on the front of the Synthesis. I'm sure with me scratching that you can tell there is texture right there, and on the Sheath, no texture, which it makes it easier for swiping and things like that. But let's go ahead, throw the phone in here, and we'll take a look at that. Honestly, really don't know which to start with. I'll start with the Synthesis since it's been my favorite so far. Again, I like to start with the volume sides so you don't flip that mute toggle. And there it is. Super aesthetically pleasing case, in my opinion anyway. And there's that extended cutout for the cameras, super nice. I'll give you guys a quick look around. Nice deep recessed camera groove right there. Look at the front. There's that protective screen lip. I do have a tempered glass screen protector on here, so the lip may not seem as impressive, but it's definitely there. It's a really nice lip. And let's take a look at cutouts down here. There's that really generous lightning port cutout, as well as precise speaker and microphone cutouts. That minimal Caudabe branding right there. They both have that same branding. Try the buttons. Really nice clicky power button. And volume buttons are also really nice. Mute toggle, super easy to get to. Alright, and of course the Synthesis has these stippled grips along the sides, which I'm honestly in love with. I love these grips so much, and they feel great in the hand. They don't feel sharp or anything like that. I really wish a lot more companies would copy this, but I'm going on a tangent. Let me go ahead and pull the phone out of this case. Actually, before I pull it out, let's look at the fit. Okay, really rigid, obviously. It does pull a little bit down here where the lightning port is and at the volume buttons, but it is really difficult to pull that. I'm sure you can see how much force I'm using in my thumb right there. And down here also takes a lot of force. So not really worried about anything like that. Now, let's go ahead and look at the sheath. Again, starting with the volume side. And there it is. Gosh, this case is so perfect. All right, let's take a look at cameras again. Not as recessed as the Synthesis for sure, but definitely still pretty deep in there. There we go. Yeah, definitely still offers a decent amount of protection. Let's take a look at this front lip. And the front lip is pretty much identical to the Synthesis. Again, I have a screen protector on here, so it looks a little minimal, but it's going to keep you safe from placing your phone screen down for sure. And this case also has a really nice texture to it. There's that minimal branding, but since it's softer, it almost feels easier to grip than the Synthesis. If we take a look at the power button, let's test that out. Really nice tactile power button, of course. Volume buttons. Really nice volume buttons as well. And that mute toggle is definitely a little smaller, but since this case does feel thinner, it's really easy to get to. Honestly, I don't even have to use my fingernail. I can just swipe at it with my finger and it flips just fine. Take a look at the bottom. Remember, there's none of that texture down here, which I found is actually kind of nice for when you're holding your phone like this, your finger's down there, nothing's kind of scratching into your finger. So the lightning port cutout is definitely smaller, but you do keep your precise cutouts for your speaker and your microphone. So really nice cutouts. I just realized this sort of little extension down here seems to be smaller. This will get into our first comparison right here. This little extension is definitely smaller than it is on the Synthesis. Difference right there, but I did kind of think that this extension was too big, so I do prefer this actually. Now let's take a look at how the case fits on the phone. Really stiff. Actually, I feel like it may have a better fit than the Synthesis. Even though the case is a softer material, it feels better almost. I might just be imagining it, but I do think this case fits a little better. So let's get into some of my ideas for this case. I just realized how dusty these camera lenses are. Let's at least try and wipe those down. All right, it's a little better. Okay, back to the cases. I really did love the Synthesis. Now, I honestly wish they would kind of make like a Frankenstein build out of the Synthesis and the sheath. Pretty much take the material of the sheath, give it this extended cutout. I know it's just aesthetic, but I feel like it does recess the cameras a little bit more. Put that over here. You could even keep that extension and this line to make it even more Frankenstein-ish. So soft material, that extension, and there's no grips over here on either side, so steal the grips from the Synthesis. It's not really stealing, it's already Caudabe's. Just add it over here to that sort of Frankenstein build. That would probably be like the perfect phone case. And I know I didn't test MagSafe, but I'll go ahead and test it for you guys. They do have the exact same magnets. I'll go straight to this test. I don't want to be keeping you guys here forever. Alright, they both offer wireless charging, and both of them love being incredibly strong when it comes to magnets. There's nothing to worry about here. Okay, I thought it was gonna fall off right there, and it didn't. So yeah, that's the sheath. Let's try the Synthesis. With this right there. There's your wireless charging, and nothing to worry about right there. This, yeah, it's great. Now, what really caused the war? Which one have I been using? Which one will I continue to use? And just which one do I think is overall better? I really did love the Synthesis, but this hard material, like, it is such a rigid, tough material that it almost feels cheap. I don't want to use the word cheap. It doesn't feel as premium as I would like for a $40 case to feel. And the sheath, that texture and that material, I'll give you one more look at that texture because it is just incredible. The fact that it's a softer material, it's a great all-around case. I think the sheath has blown the Synthesis out of the water for me. So if you're looking at Caudabe and you're trying to debate which case you should get, if you're between these two, I would recommend the sheath. Now, no, Caudabe didn't send me these. Caudabe doesn't tell me what to say, nothing like that. I loved the Synthesis. I picked up the Synthesis first, planning on not even getting the sheath, but I'm actually gonna put this on my phone right now because I don't plan on taking it off. I really wanted to keep the Synthesis in my #1 spot, but I'm just a huge fan of that softer material. So those are gonna be my thoughts, and I'm officially a bigger fan of the sheath. If you guys liked it, be sure to hit that like button down below, and if you want to see more of me or you want to see more accessory videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell as well. I'm Nick, and I'll see you guys around. Again, I gotta stop leaving this thing behind. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.